but I'm trying to get to the bottom of why dogs come over McNuggets. So we all start laughing because it's weird. And I immediately take out my phone. And I don't use Siri a lot, but I go, Siri, do dogs come? She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, you do, bitch. Hey, let me rephrase that. Do cavapoos come? I'm sorry, what are you asking? Hey, Siri, get it together. Do dogs come from the smell of chicken McNuggets? And then I look over, and the woman is just holding the bag in the drive-thru window, just like, can you just take this and stop asking Siri if dogs come in front of me? I was like, fair enough.
Hey, it's Herbert. And you're listening to the About Last Night podcast, you slippery little son of a bitch.
About last night.
Hey guys, Adam Ray here. Welcome back to the About Last Night podcast. If you haven't seen the show and you're new to the program, click right here. Subscribe to the show. Episodes drop every Monday on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for coming around. So many great episodes to go back and watch, from Adam Devine to Bert Kreischer, Sandra Bullock, Melissa McCarthy, Jason Derulo, Tony Danza, Mark Maron. So many great episodes. Go check those out. About Last Night podcast. All of them are on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Today's episode, a solo episode. Just me, baby. We're talking about everything from dogs eating themselves out to dogs coming from chicken McNuggets to all-inclusive resorts to sports bar etiquette. And my new special coming out very soon. We're chopping it as we speak. Can't wait for you guys to see it. But in the meantime, check out my special on YouTube right now, Adam Ray live from Portland. Check it out right there. You can also check out the Dr. Phil episodes with Bill Burr, Adam Devine, and Honors Holm. And the new one, we're shooting a new episode live at the Comedy Store November 21st with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. Tickets are sold out. Maybe you can find them somewhere and scalp them or just come to the show and try to squeeze your way in. But we'll be doing more of these shows monthly. Cannot wait for you guys to see this next one. It's going to be bonkers. And, of course, subscribe to the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, all that bullshit, at ALN Podcast, at Adam Ray Comedy on all the socials. And today's episode is a solo episode again, like I said, so enjoy it. Be good to yourself. Enjoy the week. Merch at adamraycomedy.com. We got some new Dr. Phil. We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here. T-shirts and hoodies on the site. Check them out right there. And Thanksgiving is upon us, so I hope you guys enjoy yourselves, but we'll have an episode out next Monday before the holidays hit. All right, enjoy the episode. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back to the show. Guys, how are you? Adam Ray here, About Last Night podcast. That's where you are. Click here to subscribe if you haven't to the show. Every Monday is when we post episodes. And we're getting into it this week because this week is a special week. Why? Well, for a lot of reasons. We're getting close to Thanksgiving, and that is a tricky time for a lot of people. Thanksgiving is the time where you start to question if you like to be associated with the family that you have been born into. I think we all can attest to the idea that there's someone in your family that you hate, and you're going to see them on Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving, more so than Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, is the holiday that people come out of the woodworks, right? There's an aunt with a creepy toe or an uncle with a creepy touch, and people are just looking to reinsert themselves into your vicinity. Look, I've had quite a few relatives pass in the past couple of years. Hey, Adam, can you bring the energy down more? But I'm going home to Seattle for Thanksgiving, and I'm excited. I'm excited because, one, I love the food. Thanksgiving is the best holiday for food. Some of you are out there being like, well, what about Easter? Who the fuck cares, dude? What'd you eat, Eggs Benedict? Cool. How about stuffing? How about potatoes? How about yams? I threw yams in because I know about yams, but I don't fuck with yams. If you love yams, no judgment, but also, hey, all the judgment. Because what the fuck are yams? They come in a can. They're not real food. It's like Taco Bell meat. That being said, Thanksgiving is the best for leftovers and the best for just the original game plan. You know? Turkey. We start there and we finish with pie. What other holidays have a beginning, middle, and end? The middle part is snacks, booze, pills, weed. Oh my. And Thanksgiving does it right. So I'm excited for that. But what excites me about Thanksgiving is that, oh boy, the true holiday season is just around the corner. And by holiday season, I mean, yeah, man, Christmas leads the charge. I'm a Jew. I'm just going to let that settle in. I'm a Jew. I'm Jewish. I was bar mitzvahed. I was circumcised. Oh my. My wife and I went to Target a few nights ago to get a Christmas tree. She wanted a Christmas tree early. She goes, let's get a tree. We should get a tree. I was like, let's fucking do it. I love my wife. Her holiday spirit is at an all-time high this year. And I was like, let's do it. Let's go to fucking Target and get a tree. Home Depot is also on the potential agenda for tree pickups, but a little too far. Target offered a sweet selection. And at one point, my wife goes, so certain trees come with lights. Some don't. I go, we want lights. She goes, awesome. Looking at the lights, she says this question. Do we want colored or white? She goes, what's better, coloreds or white? And I go, careful. If you're asking what's better, she goes, well, what are we hanging, colored lights or white lights? I go, we're obviously hanging white lights. We're obviously hanging the whites. So that was in Target. By the way, Target doesn't have a huge Hebrew selection. There's no Hanukkah pillows right at the front entrance. I walked in, and it's Christmas songs galore. And look, I love Christmas songs. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Yeah, because he's jerking off in the closet, and I can see him. Santa's a fucking perv. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty brass tacks of what Santa truly is all about. He's a little bit of a pervert. He's not a pedophile. I'm not going to go that far. But the guy, you know, he wants to see kids be happy. I dig that. But quit breaking into homes, man. We got Amazon now. Outsource that shit. But if he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, the guy's a fucking psycho. He's hiding somewhere. He's watching you. I'm not good with that. The Jews, we have songs like, here come the Jews in their holiday shoes. And that's not even a real song, but that's what we got. So I walk into Target. There's a lot of Christmas stuff going on. The Jada Pinkett Smith book is front and center at the cash registers, which, by the way, the Jada Pinkett Smith book, haven't read it, want to buy it, haven't gotten it. Definitely am thinking about doing a podcast episode where I read excerpts from the Jada Pinkett Smith book. There is a video on my Instagram right now. If you go to my Instagram, I'll post it right here. There's a clip. Go check that out, where I read, jokingly, an excerpt from the book. It's called Worthy. Jada Pinkett Smith, to me, people that go on giant book tours that aren't like comedians or, you know, presidential figures, it's just like she's created. I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith has always been in the shadows of Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Name one Jada Pinkett Smith project, movie, show where you're like, Jada Pinkett Smith was fucking. Girls Trip comes to mind for me. And that's only because it's the most recent. But that was a Tiffany Haddish, not Regina Hall, maybe Regina Hall, and Queen Latifah adventure. Jada Pinkett was there to fill space. She's fine as an actress, but she's riding Will's coattails. And I think she created, I don't know if it's like an Amber Heard, Johnny Depp situation, but in my opinion, I feel that Jada created a lot out of nothing. Will Smith is and was one of the most famous people of all time. I mean, holy shit, dude. Nobody had a bad thing to say about Will Smith. Pre-slap. You know what I'm saying? There was something for everybody. And Jada's sitting there being like, fuck, man. I mean, like, you're a powerful, strong woman, and you're just not the bee's knees. And I don't use that phrase a lot. You're not the flavor of the week. And I think it got to her. And I think she loved when Will hit Chris Rock. Oh, my God. I think she loved it. Because it just was, she's like, I got this book coming out. I can add some chapters. I got more juice to plug the passion. That being said, Christmas at Target is full on. It's a little aggressive. The Christmas songs are everywhere. There's not a lot of Hanukkah stuff. I even asked an employee right out of the gate when I walked in. I go, hey, where's you got any like dreidels or Hanukkah pillows? Verbatim, the guy goes, yeah, the Jew shit's in the back. I was like, wow, man. You probably could have phrased that differently, but you're halfway there to Employee of the Month. And he just pointed, by the way. He just was like, I go, where's the back? He goes, Nobody at Target knows where anything is. We all know this. This isn't new information. Nobody knows where anything is in Target. Target's big. It's not that big. But people are often shocked wearing the red Target polo when someone's like, hey, where are the towels? Hey, where are the candles? Hey, where are the razors? Hey, where's the fudge? Where's the fudge? Who's buying fudge at a Target? If you're buying fudge at a Target, you might be a redneck. I don't know, man. That's a job I wouldn't want, though, because Target's so fucking extravagant. There's no way to know where everything is. But some employees do. And to that, I tip my hat. I tip my hat to you, Target employees. We just celebrated Veterans Day, but I also want to shout out to the Target veterans who've been there for a hot minute and know where the peanut butter is, but they also know where the fucking, bathrobes are. Because Target's got it all. Speaking of getting it all, my dog Pickles, she just turned 4. We had a birthday party for her. Birthday party is a loose term. She turned 4 at midnight. Well, my wife and I and my buddy Scott, we were a little stony baloney. We're like, let's make Pickles feel good. She's 4. She's the pride and joy of our eyes. She's the sweetest thing of all time. We'll put up a picture of her right here. That's Pickles. That's my kid. A lot of people go, oh, your dog is your kid? It's not the same. I go, I know it's not the same. I'm not trying to be one of those people that's like, having a dog is like a kid. It's not. Because I'm pretty sure your kid doesn't stare at you while you fuck. Maybe it does. I don't want to tell you how to raise your kids, but Pickles is pretty respectful. And she's also just adorable. People want to pet Pickles at all times, at all costs. There's a guy in my building, and Pickles, I'm taking her out to take a poo about 7, 8 a.m. Guy walks by, goes, as Pickles is eating herself out, she's going to town. She's licking every part of herself. And he goes, I'll have what she's having. And I was like, whoa, dog pussy? You fucking weirdo. That's what you want? Now, I didn't need to say anything. Sometimes I go, dude, don't say anything and just let that guy keep walking. But I'm always trying to make a bit, keep things moving, keep it light. I also thought it was weird that he said, I'll have what she's having. I feel like he was basically setting me up to say something back. And I wasn't just going to go, yeah, I know, it looks awesome. I think she just tastes really good, I was like, let me just throw a joke back his way. So Pickles recently, something happened that I need to talk about, and I haven't talked about this yet, live on stage or on a podcast. Here on the About Last Night podcast, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Pickles, our dog, she's 4. By the way, at midnight, I dropped a bucket of warm laundry on the couch and gave her a treat at midnight. We counted down from 11:59 to midnight, dropped warm laundry on the couch, gave her a treat, and it was ecstasy. It was the closest thing to erotic asphyxiation. What's the exact term for when when people hang themselves and jerk off at the same time? Autoerotic asphyxiation. It's some sort of asphyxiation. My wife didn't know what it was. I go, that's like the equivalent of that for a dog. She goes, what's that? I go, yikes. Now I got to tell you what it is. I wish I didn't have to explain it to her, but I did. She goes, you could have just said it was like ecstasy for Pickles. I go, for sure. I wish I could go back and do a lot of things differently. This moment being one of them. So Pickles is fired up. Drop the laundry. She sits on it. She loves warm laundry. Dogs, I don't know if it's a historical thing. They love warm laundry. Pickles, our dog. You drop warm laundry, oof, she plops right on it, settles in, gets comfy. It's like she's sitting in a hot tub, right? So I give her a treat and drop the laundry down just as the clock strikes midnight, and it's her birthday, and she turns 4. And then she starts to choke on her treat. And so we all went from like, happy birthday, and she sits down, and she's like, and we're like, yeah, Pickles. And then she's like, help. And we're like, fuck. So it was a great birthday. She obviously snapped out of that, swallowed, had some water, and I think we watched The Little Mermaid per Pickles' request. She's a big mermaid girl. Mermaids, what do we think? Quick side tangent here before I get into here's the headline for the next story that's coming your way. Dog comes on wife's lap when Chicken McNuggets come through drive-through window. That's what you have to look forward to. Put a pin in that. Mermaids, are they real? I don't know. I don't think so. But I put mermaids in the same category as I do Bigfoot. And I'm not going to say Jesus, but Muppets to me feel more real than mermaids. But that being said, I want to believe in the idea. The idea of mermaids feels real cool. But people say, Bigfoot's not real. He hasn't come to my house. And to that I say, well, dum-dum, I don't think he's just going to show up in Minneapolis at your fucking condo. But mermaids, you got to go to them. But the ocean, I don't know, man. My wife always says, we only know 3% of the ocean. That's terrifying. Hey, that's terrifying. 3% of the ocean? You got sharks, we know that. You got beluga whales. You got gray whales. You got other whales. There's a ton of whales. There's creatures. There's features. There's fucking things that are biting and chewing and nibbling and gnawing and piranhas and armadillo. There's you don't know what the fuck's down there. What the fuck's in the ocean? Hey, do you know? Have you seen everything in the ocean? We know 3% as a species. I do think that I treat the ocean like a Jehovah's Witness. Couple feet in the water. I'm on the sand. I dip my toe in. I'm out. So if the sharks and the rest of the ocean family feels that there's a human, peppering their toes in, they go, yeah, well, ignore them. They'll go away. That's how I view a Jehovah's Witness. Some of these dickheads are jumping into the ocean, deep, acting like it's like you're walking into someone's house. Like imagine, and then they get surprised when they get bit. Imagine being like a drunk frat dude and walking into like a bachelorette party, and it's like all the girls are in lingerie, and you walk up to one of them, and she's real hot, and she's eating a piece of pizza, and you smack the pizza out of her mouth. What do you think's going to happen? And there's probably a better analogy, but the point I'm trying to make is you're coming into a place that you're not welcome at. You weren't invited to. Just because the ocean exists doesn't mean you're supposed to go in it. I digress, but mermaids, if they're out there, I feel like they'd be letting us know, They wouldn't just be showing up in films from time to time. It'd be cool. It'd be cool if there was an actual guy out there. Here's a question for you. Who's the guy, the first mermaid-human relationship a la Little Mermaid? Who's the first guy? Is it Brad Pitt? Is it Elon Musk? Is it Theo Vaughn? Who is it? Who's the first? Theo does feel like a guy that would be like have a relationship with a mermaid who's like, I'm these fish people, man, I just, they're down there, we're up here. We're just trying to figure it out, My principal was a mermaid in elementary school. So I don't know if there's a time, if you're going into the ocean looking for mermaids, I think you're on drugs. I think that's safe to say. But I think if you come back from the ocean with a mermaid story, 99% of people aren't believing you. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, the therapy home for you and everyone. Look, the seasonal blues are just around the corner. The holidays get people down in the dumps. They should be a time to celebrate life, but we all have shit that gets us down. We all have someone that fucks our space up. My brother-in-law pitches me movie ideas all the time that don't make sense. Hey, Sandra Bullock and fucking Ethan Hawke go to space and open a juice bar. That doesn't make sense, Dirte. So we all need somebody to check in with, and therapy is right here for you. BetterHelp will match you after filling out a questionnaire with a licensed therapist and help you get on the track to living and feeling better, okay? And if you want that, because you need that, we all need somebody to talk to. I've used BetterHelp for quite some time now, and it's truly a game changer because you need somebody to vent, spit out all your bullshit ideas, vent, think, talk, take all the stuff that's up here and get it out to the mouth to somebody else so they can go, you're actually not that crazy. We all go through that. It's an essential part of being a human being, and I hope you guys take the time to invest in yourself and want that for yourself. So right now, if you want 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, you can go to betterhelp.com/aboutlastnight and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/aboutlastnight to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/aboutlastnight for 10% off your first month. Start feeling better, start looking better, start talking and seeming better. Because, you know, we're selling the sizzle, not the steak. Who said that? Tom Selleck. Enjoy the rest of the episode. But I'll tell you what I do believe. Dogs come. We'll come up with a better segue for this next episode, but Pickles, a 10-pound Cavapoo. We went to a McDonald's drive-thru. We said, hey, let's fucking get a McDonald's D-Coke. Sometimes you want a D-Coke from a place with a proper soda fountain machine. And most fast food restaurants slack with the fucking soda. Mickey D's coming through hot with a D-Coke. We get a D-Coke. Fuck it, let's get some McNuggets. We're here. We're here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to fucking order McNuggets to be delivered to the house. You got to go get them. That's the one thing about McDonald's. If you're Postmating McDonald's, you piece of shit. Go to the fucking place, man. At least make yourself feel like you earned it, you know? You drove there, you walked there, you scooted there. So we go, let's give us a 6-piece. Pickles, our dog, sitting on my wife's lap. Also, my wife goes, oh my God, Pickles just peed on me. I go, oh, fuck. Sorry about that. She's usually really good about going outside. And then also my wife goes, yo, that ain't pee. It's cum. It's cum. Welcome back to That's Not Pee, It's Cum. Dog edition. What do you do? Hey, raise your hand if you've ever seen a dog cum. And keep that hand raised if you knew dogs could cum. That's what I fucking thought. Nobody. I didn't know dogs. Doggy style is that had to come from somewhere. Clearly, dogs fuck enough for us to be like, hey, you mind if we borrow your position and make it one of the coolest ones in the rotation? And dogs are like, yeah, go for it. Some people think doggy style is just fucking outside in the front yard like a dog. No, it's not. It's indoors, bent over, guy behind the girl. And that's how dogs, I guess, do it. Again, I just don't think about dogs fucking to think that they're even coming. So, cut to, Pickles comes on my wife from the McNuggets, from the smell of the McNuggets. If this isn't a commercial for McDonald's, I don't know what is. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm coming as a dog. I'm a dog ejaculating or coming. Can you say as a woman that you're ejaculating or no? Is that only for a dude? Because women will say I'm jerking off when they talk about masturbating. And I'm like, well, what are you jerking though? You're fingering. So you're fingering up. I'm not running for office, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of why dogs come over McNuggets. So we all start laughing because it's weird. And I immediately take out my phone. And I don't use Siri a lot, but I go, Siri, do dogs come? She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, you do, bitch. Hey, let me rephrase that. Do cavapoos come? I'm sorry, what are you asking? Hey, Siri, get it together. Do dogs come from the smell of chicken McNuggets? And then I look over, and the woman is just holding the bag in the drive-thru window, just like, can you just take this and stop asking Siri if dogs come in front of me? I was like, fair enough. But it was a new moment, a new experience. Look.
I don't know what that means. If you like, I can search the web for. I knew a new moment, a new experience.
No. Here we go. Ready? Hey, Siri. Do dogs come? Hey, Siri. Do dogs come? Hey, Siri. Do dogs come over chicken McNuggets? Can dogs eat chicken McNuggets? Yes. Can dogs eat? Hey, Siri. Do dogs ejaculate? I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, Siri, do dogs have sex?
I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, I bet you do. I don't know what it feels like to be lied to by a fucking phone, but I just felt it. Siri knows. Isn't that fun? Can you imagine Siri at a party? Just knows everything. And just, but like, wants to, like, she's definitely like, keeps her cards close to the vest. She's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know about that. But she's very selective, like, and judgy too. Siri's very judgy because she knows so much shit. Someone's like, are you going to watch that new show on Hulu? And she's like, Hulu was actually formed by Fox and Universal in 2012 when the $100 million investment was formed with the help of websites like Yahoo and MySpace. You're like, cool, thanks for the heads up. You're like, Siri, you drunk? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't answer that. Yeah, well, I saw you shotgun a beer out of a fucking ventilator. I think Siri, oh man. All this Siri talk is getting me choked up. I'm getting emotional. But only because I think it's time to check in on one of my favorite new segments of the show, which is called, Hey, is that real? Cue the theme song. Great. There's a new segment on the show called Hey, is that real? Where basically I bring up something that happened, and you guys at home get to decide, hey, is that real? First thing, sports bar earlier today. I'm looking to take a couple stools to move them over to our table. And a gentleman with his family is at the table, and he's got plenty of seats. And there's 3 seats open. He's not using them. And I go, just to be cordial, hey, man, are you using these seats? He's definitely not, by the way. And he goes, I mean, I go, so yeah, you are? And he goes, we're about to leave. I go, so no. And he goes, I mean, there's 4 seats right over there. And I go, wow. You don't want me to use the seats that you're not using because they're at your table. There's a weird territorial thing at sports bars with guys. Don't touch my shit. Don't look at my girl. Don't touch my stool. Don't touch my stool. Don't watch me shit. I mean, guys are getting increasingly more, you know what I'm saying? So is that real? Is that real? The amount of aggressive, aggro, the excessive passion from fellas in sports bars. Sports get guys riled up. We get fired up. We get juiced out. I would venture to assume 92% of dudes outside in public have some sort of testosterone deficiency or an overcompensation of steroids, because there's only a handful of fellas I've met in the last couple of years that I feel like are even keeled. Everyone, you know, Jesse, who's making things work today for us, an even keeled fella. There's a lot of people I meet where I'm like, you're either too much or you're just, yeah. We're all trying to find that middle ground. You want to put your best foot forward. You want to be, charismatic, chivalrous, entertaining if you can be, self-deprecating for sure. If there's a list of things that I would say that I look for in a stranger, it's self-deprecating, fun, attentive, silly, and DFW, down for whatever. You know? If I meet someone right out of the gate, poke fun at yourself, poke fun at me, be lighthearted, be smiling through all the bullshit. And if we're like, hey, man, do you want to break into that Baskin Robbins and invent a 30-second flavor? I want that person to go, I thought you'd never ask. But that's just me, man. Everyone dreams different. Some people dream. Some people don't even dream. There's a guy I talked to at a show once, and I was like, what was the last dream you had? And he was like, I've never had a dream. I've never had a dream. Get the fuck out of here. I don't dream. I never had a dream. Never had a dream. Look, I've had some fucked up dreams on NyQuil. I'll be the first to say. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, stuff red fever so you can rest medicine. Yeah, you can rest after you hallucinate and think you're a cheetah running a daycare for 45 minutes. That shit is not legal. They're little green pills. It's what Keanu Reeves took in The Matrix. Whoa. Oh, yeah. That was more of a Joe Biden, Keanu Reeves. Oh, no way. NyQuil. I do take melatonin to try to sleep, or a little bit of weed. Sometimes, though, you got to find that right combo because you're like, man, I'm tired. I need to crash. But, flip side, I'm not waking up. A weed wake up versus a melatonin wake up, much different. The hangover. Sometimes you take too much melatonin, which some people have said does not work. Some people have said melatonin does not work. And to that I say, suck my dick. Suck my wiener and lick my ass, because it does. Pharmaceutical companies. I want to create a melatonin. All comedians are coming up with like merch, booze, hats. Oh my. No comedian has their own melatonin brand. And based on that silence, there's a good reason why. I don't think as a comedian you want people to, you want them to be interested in the shit that most people are into, which is like what? Condoms, fruit by the foots, stuff that the public is consuming on a day-to-day. Melatonin, I think, is I don't want to say a niche market, but I know more people that take sleeping pills like Ambien than they do take ZzzQuil. I took Ambien twice. I saw my grandparents on the ceiling. They've been dead for a while. R.I.P. Sylvia and Dolph. But I saw them they were in wheelchairs too. It was fucked up. It was like, this is my hallucination, and they're still old. I would have loved to see them when they were like 30, been like, what up, man? Hope you feel better. But they were fucking wheeling away in a wheelchair. You ever watch the Wheelchair Olympics or wheelchair basketball? Talk about an inspiring evening. These guys, I can't imagine being in a fucking wheelchair. I'll just say that. I can't imagine. I mean, look, life's easier. Standing up, walking around takes a lot out of you sometimes. I don't think anybody in a wheelchair would prefer to be in the wheelchair. But that being said, I'm like, man, I don't know if I have it in me to go, I'm going to be an inspiring story. If I can't walk, that might be a wrap. Well, I hope you guys have a great week. Jess, where are we at for time? 30. Great. Oh. Went to Mexico. How can I forget this? Holy shit. Went to Mexico and have some stuff to report on. What do I have to report on? Well, went to an all-inclusive resort. All-inclusive should be called all-intrusive because the maids are pretty much in your shower as they knock on your door. Does that make sense? They're like, towels, can you actually give me one? Because I'm in your fucking bathroom. Very aggressive, attentive, however you want to phrase it. All-inclusive means you get to eat and drink for free. Do what you want, live it up, feel it up, Let's go. And it was in Mexico at a place called the LeBlanc Hotel. And this place was fun. They had a good vibe. I'm boring myself with the fucking story, but that's only because Mexico, the vibe of it is drinks, beach, water, pool. Oh my. We go to the pool every day. You meet strangers. You meet characters. We met a guy named Hung, Vietnamese guy from Minneapolis. He's like, "What's up, guys? I'm Hung, but I'm not." I laughed very hard. I said, "I'll see you in Minneapolis." Hung went on to tell us how he fucked a lot of hoes from MySpace. That's a direct quote. And he kept saying worst case scenario. So, like, we'd be like, "Hey, we're hanging out." It was 2 p.m. He's like, "Shots?" We're like, "No, dude. Hung, we already took shots with you at 11 a.m. We're done." He goes, "Come on, man, one more shot. Worst case scenario, you puke." He was like worst case scenario guy, but he'd give you the actual worst case scenario. Most people go like, worst case scenario, you know, they beat around the bush. They want to coerce you into that activity. Hung was just like, dude, at one point he's like, worst case scenario, you fucking fall out of the pool and you break your head and you bleed out. Come on, man, one more shot. Really likable guy, really affable, funny laugh. I think he bought Coke from a guy. At these all-inclusive resorts, you basically just, you're waking up and then you're hanging out until you feel it's appropriate to go to the pool and drink. You're like, it's 10:30. If we get down there by 11:15, which no, you're down there by 10:35. You're like, we get a spot, and then it's 11, and then it's mimosa time. 10:30 feels early to drink. 11, I think most people are like, it's brunch. It's brunch. And, you know, we also all get coerced into drinking when we don't want to drink. You know what I'm saying? Hung was like, shots at 11 a.m. He said it was his anniversary. And then he bought Coke from a guy on a donkey on the beach. We didn't do Coke with him. I still have not done Coke. I know some people are like, bullshit. Yeah, weed, shrooms, Molly. That's what I've done, drug-wise. Coke, it's too dangerous now. But even back in the day, I think DARE, the DARE program to keep kids off drugs, that was what really deterred me. Because our DARE officer, Officer Hooper, shout out, he came into our class and he was like, weed might be the most fun of the drugs. I forget what he said, but he was like, weeds, if you want pizza to taste like cookies and cookies that taste like sounds, weed is the move. We were like, was there a bad part about this? He's like, don't drink unless you get really sad. Like, again, this feels like bad advice. And then he was like, I double dog dare you to not do Coke. Like, so this was the wrong guy to be teaching us about how to, you know, drug prevention. This was not his specialty. Strength in numbers, they would teach you. Hey, always have a lot of people around so that when someone's like, you want to fucking do some fucking drugs, they would say like strength in numbers or have an excuse. Sorry, man, I'm going to go play Super Nintendo. And that was just supposed to like push away the drug people. Or, sorry, man, I can't and neither can my 14 friends. Strength in numbers. But DARE was truly going hard in the paint. DARE. I think it was drug abuse resistance education. I think that's right. But I don't know, man. They made it seem like a lot of fun. They were like, don't smoke weed unless you want to fucking, you know, talk to your PE teacher from second grade in your dreams and reconcile that day where he embarrassed you in front of the class for not having your uniform. Again, I don't know what it is that you're trying to achieve, but they just always were like, you could tell that the drug counselors always did drugs. Yeah. I mean, and they're adults. Why wouldn't they? Camp counselors. You see all these camp counselors on all these camp shows. These guys are getting fucked up, which makes me think about the times when I went to camp. I mean, no wonder the talent show was so unorganized. These guys were hungover as shit. I think they had us just do like hand puppets one day. No, who wants to watch a hand puppet show? I don't know. Maybe your dad. All right. Enjoy the week. We got a lot of fun shit coming up. A lot of tour dates. This week I'm with Sal Volcano in Duluth, Minnesota, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rochester, Minneapolis, and one other spot, Iowa, Davenport, Iowa. Tickets at salvolcanocomedy.com. .com. And then I'll be at the DC Improv December 7th through the 9th, and Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego December 15th and 16th. Tickets at adamraycomedy.com. Special is being cut, coming to you soon, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's it. Guys, enjoy the week. Be good to yourself. And as we say here at Melrose Studios, have a sip for George. Good night, everybody.